looking a little bit flat, but that will get us to the garage so I can buy a coffee and I can pump it up there and not annoy the neighbours. Just pulled up to the job and it's a hive of activity already. It's not even 7:30 yet. So we are getting ready for pebble dashing. Soft sand and render sand mix, just was putting in there. We scratched a lot of this yesterday. I'll go into the intricacies a little bit later in the video, but if you don't know, pebble dashing ends up looking like this. So look, there's the original part of the building. That's what we are going to achieve today. Yesterday we put integral waterproofer in the scratch coat, so we're hoping it's going to hold back long enough so that we can actually get the stones in there. One of the worst things is having too much suction on your top coat. It dries out and you can't get the stones to actually stick into the top layer of sand and cement. So inside the mixer there is a mix of rendering sand and soft sand to take the stones, and he's put Feb mix in it rather than... Wow, it'll mix by the time we get it in the buckets, won't it?
Oh, is that what you're doing?
So yeah, he's only put Feb mix in it. Yesterday in the scratch coat we put integral waterproofer. This looks like it's Feb mix mortar plasticizer, although the label has seen better days, but it tends to be a brown. There we go, look, there's some in there. I can't get it undone. Some in there. It's quite a brown watery liquid. Okay, looks like Matt and Dan are going up the top. I went up there yesterday and scratched it, but I'm going to go in here because we didn't have enough gear mixed up yesterday, and I'm going to get a scratch on that bit that we missed. It needs patching in. That used to be an old doorway, it looks like. Okay, when laying on over a scratch coat, it's quite important you get the gear to actually push into the scratches. So you tend to put on once and go over a couple of times so it really gets in and grabs hold. So when you are pebble dashing, there's a good chance you might find yourself under a bit of friendly fire.
Take this. It's too close, it's further away.
I want to see what the inside of my pants look like. Oh man, look at me. bag of chips. Dirty builders. So this was done a few days ago, and this is why we are just putting some water over there, just to pull it back a little bit, give the gear time so it doesn't pull in too quickly. Tip, look, we want to try and get it inside all the nooks and crannies. So a little tip is to start at the bottom. You can do this with PVA as well. When you put pressure on, it creates a little wave on top. Let's see, look at that. And that pushes right in. Little wave, there we go. We're all wet down with that roller, and we can see it's not pulling in too quickly. The gear previous coat is holding the water in, which is an indication that that waterproofer is actually working. Otherwise it'll be starting to dry out already. It'll be drawn into the thermalite blocks. Remember, this is over thermalites, so thermalites are really, really high suction. But yeah, staying wet. I'll dub that bit out.
Boy.
It's pretty much 11:30 and we are all done with 4 of us on it. So yeah, all that's left to do now is get the stones out of the gusset of my pants, out of my pockets, out of my ears, and we didn't charge the guy for re-gravelling his driveway. I think we would have been alright if we'd run out. We could have used some from the drive. So this is all going to be painted as well, so we was able to kind of like, if we was running a little bit short, pick them up from the floor and throw them back over there. If they weren't being painted and that was the finish, then you really can't do that. You need to do that with fresh stones, otherwise the discoloration will show through when it dries. So you might do well to throw down some Cordex or something like that, some sort of wooden things, or just a hard surface, so if you need to, you can pick those stones back up. As you can see, it's quite a messy job, in the sense stones get thrown everywhere. Okay, so that was quite a short video compared to some of the others. It's the second part. We did another one, be the previous video, of actually putting a scratch coat on. So the scratch coat had integral waterproofer in it, and it was a combination of sharp sand and a rendering sand, and then the top coat that we threw the stones in was a combination of soft sand and rendering sand with Feb mix in it. So there you go, and it did hold back nicely enough so that we had time to throw the stones in there, because as I mentioned in the video, if there's too much suction for that top coat and it starts pulling the moisture out of that top coat, which is probably the worst thing that can happen if you are pebble dashing, then the stones can't stick into the top coat because it just goes off too fast and it bounces off. The other thing that's probably quite important is that you get the top coat regulated quite nicely as well, because if you put it on too deep, although the rest of that house was wet dashed and it is going to be painted, but if you put the top coat on too deep and you start throwing stones, then the sand and cement starts bleeding through the stones, and you don't get a nice you just don't get a nice look to it. Basically it gets all grey and stuff. So yeah, if it was going to be unpainted, then we wouldn't have been able to be so blasé with it, if you like. Anyway guys, yeah, like I say, it's the second part, so if you want to see the first part, have a look at the playlist. Do subscribe to the channel if you want to support it, and also there is a Facebook group which is also called Plaster Master Smith 74 if you want to come over there and get some advice, and it's a little bit more engaging than just the comments on the YouTube platform on the comments section. Then come over there and say hello. There's loads of plasterers on the group now that can give advice, or if you want to give some advice, do come over there. Anyway guys, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.